Welcome to Awakening the Spiritual Mind with myself, Elisabeth Carrio. Awakening a Spiritual Mind, a journey of reflection, practice, and awakening. And this is the episode 2, inspired by chapter 2 of my book. I let you the time to download, if you already didn't do it, your free awakening journal, or to take your notebook to write all your ideas or emotions you can feel during this episode or aftermath. Now I would like to share with you a passage of this chapter 2, and I will come back to you with some reflection.
Chapter 2: Myth, Madness, or Awakening. When inner turmoil begins, how do we know if it is madness, myth, or the soul awakening? This chapter explores how breakdowns may not be signs of failure, but rather the beginning of deep transformation. The call of the soul. Sometimes the call is triggered by an external event, a crisis, illness, or retirement, but often it begins more subtly. A quiet shift in perception, a moment when the ordinary world feels charged. You hear something deeper in the lyrics of a song. You notice patterns emerging from what once seemed random. You are overcome by awe or gripped by a kind of knowing that defies logic. Your dreams become vivid. Synchronicities multiply. You feel both electric and raw. Then it intensifies. You feel restless, ungrounded, perhaps terrified, perhaps ecstatic. You begin questioning everything, your relationships, your work, your identity, even your sanity. Something inside you is shifting, fast. It is hard to sleep. You no longer recognize yourself. You wonder, am I going crazy? But what if you are not? But what if you are not breaking down, but breaking open? Psychologists have long described these symptoms as typical of a midlife crisis. A period often between the ages of 35 and 55, when individuals begin to feel that the life they have built no longer reflects who they truly are. The outer structure may still appear successful, yet something within feels hollow, misaligned, or ready to evolve. Carl Jung saw midlife not as pathology, but as a natural turning point in the psyche. In his view, the first half of life is dominated by ego building and societal roles, while the second half should be dedicated to individuation, a process of integrating the deeper self, shadow, and spiritual meaning. But this kind of inner upheaval is not limited to midlife.
What you just heard captures a tension that many people face. Am I losing my mind? Or is something new being born in me? Our culture often rushes to label anything unusual as illness. If you feel raw, restless, or disoriented, you may be told that you are depressed, anxious, or unstable. But what if instead these experiences are part of an ancient pattern, a spiritual passage that has been described in myth, rituals, and psychology for centuries? Carl Jung believed that midlife crisis was not a breakdown, but a turning point in the psyche, a call toward deeper integration. Erikson described late life questioning as a passage into integrity or despair, a moment of truth and not pathology. And Stanislas Grof introduced the idea of spiritual emergency, the experience of awakening disguised as crisis. The danger today is that many people going through this threshold feel caught in between. Doctors may medicate them, religious community may mistrust them, friends may not understand them, and yet these moments, though messy and unsettling, can also be sacred. They are thresholds where the ego dissolves and something truer begins to emerge. So instead of asking, what is wrong with me? You might ask, what is being born in me? This reframing doesn't make the struggle easy, but it gives it dignity. It allows us to hold confusion not as a failure, but as an initiation. And now I would like you have some moment about a guided reflection. So let's pause together. Think of a time when your life felt uncertain or upside down. Maybe it was after a loss, a transition, or an unexpected change. Can you remember how it felt? Not only the fear, but also the strange sense that something deeper was shifting. Notice what arises as you recall that moment. Let it be there without judgment. And open your awakening journal or your notebook. Take a few moments to write freely on these prompts. First, when have I left close to the edge of madness, only to realize later that it was a threshold for growth? 2. What part of me might be dissolving now, and what part is trying to be born? 3. How can I honor the chaos I feel instead of trying to silence or control it? This was the episode 2 of Awakening the Spiritual Mind, Exploring Myth, Madness, or Awakening. Remember, not all breakdowns are failures. Some are breakthroughs in disguise. In our next episode, we will explore Chapter 3 and how to listen more deeply so you can answer the call of awakening not with fear, but with clarity and courage. So thank you for listening to Awakening the Spiritual Mind.